Okay, so um, so today we're gonna talk about partnerships. So this video is just a little intro to partnerships. So if you are already a partnership professional and you know about partnerships, or you have a good idea of the overall sense of what partnerships do in an organization, like say it's not new to you, you probably don't need to watch this video. I just wanted to give a little bit of preamble to the next stuff I'm going to talk about that's in my dissertation, so that people who are not partner people, but who maybe come from the sales side, or maybe they don't come from business development or the business side of a business at all. Maybe these are like tech people or whoever, so that you can also understand what partnerships are and then maybe appreciate some of what I talk about in my dissertation. So, I don't really know where I'm supposed to be looking. I have my camera on a tripod, so I'm gonna try to look in the right place, right there, I think. But yeah, maybe someday I'll have two cameras. Can you imagine? So okay, so let's talk about partnerships. So what are partnerships? So I like to think of partnerships like this. When you're building a business, there's this really cool tool that you can use to kind of like make a business plan on one piece of paper, and it's called the business model canvas. So this tool was developed by Osterwalder and some colleagues, and basically it's a way for you to envision your business and your business model plan just like on one page. And maybe I'll do some cool graphic where I can actually like put it in here. So you've got your business model on one page. So where do partners fit in? Well, on this business model canvas, you have a little section that says partners. It says, so you can consider what kind of partners you need to build this business. So at the center of the core of this business model canvas, you have like your value proposition. So that's basically not just what you're selling, but what value does it produce, for whoever's buying it. And then you've got, who your customers are and the channels that you're going to use to deliver the product or that product, the value proposition to those customers. Along the bottom, you've got all the stuff about your financials, what your costs are, what your revenue is, all of that stuff is on the bottom. And then on the other side, you've got kind of like operational type stuff. So who are your partners and stuff like that. So that's the business model canvas, business plan on one page. There is a section for partners, but I think partners are a little bit, I would disagree with this conception of partners a bit, because I think partners are not just one category on this one side of the business model. I think we can think of partners as a way to enhance any area of the business model. So classically, or how it's typically broken down in the tech world right now, is there's sort of these three big picture groups of partners. There are channel partners, there are technology partners, and then there are strategic partners. So I'll explain each of those quickly. Channel partners are partners who help you expand your reach and increase your revenue. So really, like, if you're just going to simplify it, and maybe there's people who will disagree with me and we could be more complicated about how we talk about this, but in general, channel partners are meant to provide you with new channel partners to market. You are finding ways to get your product to different customer groups, and your channel partners are helping you do that, and they're also helping you facilitate sales. So channel partners are all about increasing revenue. The other kind of partner group I mentioned are technology partners. Technology partners are partners who help you enhance that value proposition or your product, the product itself. You can think of this as like the make or buy decision. Are we going to invest in actually developing some kind of a tech in-house, or should we just partner with someone who's already built that tech and integrate their tech into our product? So that's like a typical way to think of a technology partner, especially in the world of software. And often technology partners are also both. They can be channel partners and technology partners. But generally speaking, a technology partner is kind of enhancing your value proposition or your overall product positioning. And then finally, strategic partners. So I like to think of these type of partners as partners with whom you share the same customer group and the same goals. So, these partners, they may or may not be able to get your product to those customers through some new channel. They may or may not be able to enhance your product offering, but they're going to be able to stand alongside you and maybe complement your product or complement your offering in some type of way. So I'll give some examples, just very clear-cut examples of each type of partner group. So channel partners, you've got reseller partners or referral partners. Those are like common examples. So I find in the partner world, these terms are kind of confused or I don't want to say misused, but they're used in different ways sometimes. So for instance, I hear, managed service provider kind of used synonymously with channel partner. So if you're a partner person, maybe you know what that means. If you're not, don't worry about it. But technically, like a managed service provider could be a channel partner, but they also could be a technology partner. They could be a strategic partner. So I like to think of channel, like these groupings that I'm talking about are more about the function of the partner. So what are they contributing to that business plan, to the business model, to your top-down goals? So channel partners are contributing to revenue. So here I like to think of referral and reseller partners as a good example. There's lots of different types of referral and reseller partners. But so this is like, say, someone who comes and like buys a bulk batch of your software at a discount and then goes out and resells it for an increased price, for some price that you both agree on. Or a referral partner, very simple. Somebody's referring a customer to you and you're giving them a kickback like 10 or 20 or whatever percent as a thank you for that referral. So those are examples of channel partners. They're helping extend reach to customers and increase revenue opportunities. Technology partners. So an example here is like a technology that you might integrate into your software product that makes it better. So say, for example, let's say like take Uber. Uber's got like a really cool software interface that helps the drivers like navigate and do all this cool stuff and figure out how long rides take and blah, blah, blah. So, and this is just a made up example. I don't know if this exists, but maybe Uber goes and partners with a technology partner that helps process and understand data. So say they partner with some kind of like an AI technology partner who can plug in and download all the data out of the Uber database and help crunch that into something useful to Uber and or to the drivers, say, and present that data to the driver. Whereas maybe Uber didn't have like the technology resources or the software devs to build technology like that in-house. So they just partner with this other company to help them do that. And maybe this, there's some sort of data that's delivered up to the driver, like, your average ride time or, your average dollars per hour that you're making per ride or something like that. So that's just an example. Maybe Uber does actually have the technology team in-house to be able to do that themselves, but let's just say they had a really bare bones team and they couldn't do it. They might get a technology partner, sort of do a plug and play type thing. So in that case, what might happen is for every instance where that software is used or put to use, maybe the technology partner receives some kind of a fee, or maybe a royalty type reimbursement, or sometimes maybe that partner will be like advertised through the app or something like that. That wouldn't make sense in the Uber example, but there's other examples where it might. But you get the idea. So the technology is enhancing the product, and the technology partner is getting some sort of gain or benefit or exposure to a market that they want to be part of or something like that. That's a technology partner over in the plant. And then strategic partners, the reason I kind of put them in the middle is because sometimes strategic partners can become like so ingrained within a business that these types of partnerships lead to acquisitions. So like I mentioned before, you've got the same customer group, the same kind of goals. If your product or your service overlays enough, it might make sense to merge or acquire one, or the other acquires the other. So strategic partnerships are kind of tight-knit relationships like that, where you're both facing the same direction, rowing the boat in the same direction, trying to reach the same end goal. Strategic partner could take on the look of a channel partner and a technology partner, but sometimes they're a little bit more integrated. So there's a good example I think I saw on a blog. I feel like it was maybe from Allbound. It was talking about, say, Starbucks inside of Safeway. So, or Walmart, I think, in some cases. So, or Target, maybe Starbucks in Target. We don't have Target in Canada, so I think that was the example. This is a great strategic partnership where Target has allocated X amount of retail space to Starbucks. So what you have happening is everyone loves Starbucks. So since you love Starbucks so much, you're going to shop at Target instead of Walmart because you can get your Starbucks while you're shopping. And for Starbucks, they've already saturated every street corner in the world, pretty much, or at least in North America or America. So they have this opportunity to be in a densely populated or high traffic area with facing their own consumer group. And obviously, like make some money off of that. So I don't exactly know the details of those franchise agreements, but both parties are benefiting, and it's kind of like this symbiotic relationship. Obviously, a partnership can be all three things. It can be a channel partnership, a strategic partnership, and a technology partnership. And then there's other like gray areas in between, and there's other ways to partner. There's different things like affiliate partnerships, which is kind of in the world of channel partnerships. There are marketplace established where a bunch of softwares might all collect together and sell through some kind of a marketplace, and that's kind of another, almost like can be a combo, right, of strategic technology and channel partners depending on the situation. But so there's lots of gray areas, and these are just general buckets, and partnerships can really be whatever you want them to be, but more so whatever you need them to be. Partnerships, as I said at the start here, are there to enhance the business plan in some type of way. So reduce costs, increase revenues, better product, reach to customers, all of those things. Also not to be confused with like a service provider. So like, if you're using like a law firm or something to write up some contracts for you, that's not a partnership. You're just a customer of the law firm. So that's something different. Partnerships are more when you're exchanging something of value that benefits both of you and helps enhance both of your business goals. So I should say that in channel partnerships, it's like, well, what do you mean? Because you're basically leveraging a partner to sell on your behalf, and you're kind of paying them to do that. So aren't they providing a service? So yes and no, they kind of are providing a service. However, they're not going to sell your product or service if it doesn't also align with their business. So like typically, for example, you might have like a security software, right? And you're going to sell that through an IT security consulting firm. That your product is complementary to the service being offered by this service provider already. So sure, there's a transactional relationship where the partner might make some revenue off of you, but there's a bunch of other benefits. Like, for instance, this IT security consultant is gaining credibility by offering your product, perhaps, or they're able to expand their product offering. It's a little bit strategic for them. So from their perspective, maybe it's a bit of a strategic partnership as well, because they're able to enhance the customer experience, or almost like their value proposition and product offering to their customers by being able to offer your software. So different from how you would engage with a service provider. Service providers are not the same as partnerships, at least in my opinion. So that's kind of partnerships 101. So it's at the very basic level. Why would you partner? What types of partner categories are there? And how can you leverage partnerships? And I guess the last thing I'll just say here is there's a lot of documentation on like how to partner and different types of partners and how to conceptualize partnerships in the tech and software space for some reason. But there's not as much data or like discussion on partners in this way with traditional products. So you don't often see, you hear about distributor relationships versus channel partnerships, like with a traditional hard goods and products. It's, you hear about distribution relationships. but often those distributors and distribution relationships function like partnerships. So I would consider, in some cases, distributors to be partners, which is, I think, where they fit on the business model canvas too. Yeah, you can definitely, if you're not in the tech or software or whatever industry and you're starting some other type of business, or maybe it's like hard goods or some combo or like something else, you can think of partnerships in the same way as I'm talking about. You do not have to be selling software to leverage partnerships in this way. You can have strategic and technology and channel partnerships as well. You just think about it as you would like with the business model canvas. How are these partners enhancing any of these areas on the business model canvas, including like technology, like we'd call it a technology partner in the software world. You can still call it that if you have a hard good. Like, for instance, let's think of a hard good example. So say you've got a vacuum cleaner, right? And it's enhanced by some kind of like HEPA filtration system. So HEPA is not native to your vacuum. It's a separate sort of classification of filter, but you've partnered with like the HEPA people to integrate that filter into your vacuum, so that you think of that as like a technology partnership. And there might be some trade to be able to use the word like HEPA filter or something, or some kind of revenue share or something like that. But anyway, so you can launch any of these types of partnerships in any circumstance. It doesn't really matter what you're selling or doing. Okay, so that's that. And then the next thing I'll just say, the last thing I'll say, is my dissertation, what this whole series is about, what I'll talk about in the next video or future videos, is about channel partnerships. I focused on channel partnerships because that's more my background. And it helps me make the metaphor that I tried to make in my dissertation, I think, a little easier. But I'll just say in general that I think the thesis I put forward in my dissertation could be applied to any type of partnership program that you're building. So maybe that's a separate thing I should make a video about, is what is a partnership program. Maybe I'll do that also as like a 101 video, like what's a partnership program. So hopefully that's helpful. Please like this video, share it, subscribe if you haven't already and you found this helpful. I plan to be pretty engaged and active, so if you have like questions or thoughts or ideas and you want to share those in the comments, please do. You can also find me on LinkedIn, and I'm happy to answer questions there, or reach out there. You know, however you would like to reach me, please do. If you want to, I'm lonely, please talk to me. Just kidding. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. So hope this was helpful. Like, share, whatever I'm supposed to say right here, and I will see you in the next one.